Hey, it's the weekly verdict. JML here, Charlie there, Fire Frank down below. The three amigos back together. It's been a while. We're the three best friends that anyone can have. Three best friends that anyone can
Yes,
have.
everybody, let's welcome back Charlie back from assignment.
Yo,
Good to see
good to be
you.
back.
I have another jingle that I want to sing.
What's that?
Look in my eyes, what do you see? No more AEW for me.
Oh, jeez.
So let's kick it off. Bit of rumor, innuendo. The dirt sheets have reported Phil Brooks, aka CM Punk, has wrestled his last match for AEW. Do we believe this? Do we really believe there's money going to be left on the table yet again with Punk and a company? It just seems like they're like, well, he wasn't mentioned as one of the past Ring of Honor champions, and he hasn't been mentioned on TV. For that matter, the Bucks and Kenny haven't been mentioned either. So why is it a slanted view once again towards Punk? Why is everything Punk's fault? It takes two to tango, or several to tango in this case. It's really irritating. Was Punk the most professional in his approach? No. But they weren't either. So, again, obviously, the Elite have the ears of the dirt sheets, and they're just running with this. I used to like Sean Ross Sapp, but apparently he has a vendetta against Punk, and nothing Punk could do would ever change that man's mind. So now I don't like Sean Ross Sapp. I think he's just the same as Meltzer and Alvarez at this point. He's a shill for whoever's going to feed him information. And it's unfortunate because he wasn't like that. Again, he wasn't the one that reported it, but I'm just saying the way that he has he used to be objective. Now he's not objective. He just literally takes a side on everything. And it's really starting to irritate me. Fire Frank, your thoughts here. And how did you like my jingle?
It's a nice jingle. I like it. It has a good ring to it. It's funny, yeah. I was just talking to my friends tonight while at the show. We were just saying, like, who would have guessed that there would have been a problem within a year between when you have people like Punk, you have people like the Elite who love, like you said, love to spread stuff to the sheets, whether or not they admit that that's what's going on. We know that's happening.
Yep.
I mean, that's how this whole thing came to be in the first place. Obviously, a tweet, but yeah, I don't know. I don't put a lot of stock in a lot of these so-called reporters anymore. I was never a big Ross Sapp guy. I didn't really know about him until the last couple of years. I've heard his name more often, so I can't say I've had a change of heart on him. He seems like just another carny trying to sell you something. Trying to sell you some news
through a
paywall, then it's going to be online 30 seconds later anyway. So not to insult anybody that subscribes to his Patreon, but I don't know what you guys are doing. Yeah, that I don't take a lot of I take it with a grain of salt. A lot of these things that are just rumors. If you're going to report this, just say, hey, this is a rumor. This isn't, confirmed. Which again, I'd like to shout out my guys at Post Wrestling for being professional and confirming stuff before they report something as a fact. But yeah, this whole thing is it's weird. Like you said, it continues. He's the bad guy. It's funny. All the fans that were always like sticking up for him, same people are now, oh, he's no good. Which is funny because when I brought this up a year ago and he's coming back, well, he did walk away. So should I just suddenly forgive him? Oh, because he was upset that he didn't get to main event WrestleMania or he wasn't good mentally. Hey, fine. He didn't like it. He got out of there. Then he complained that they fired him on his wedding day. I'm like, if you don't show up to work for 6 months, I mean, it's a pretty fair game, I'd say.
It's like being fired on your wedding day.
Yeah. So, do I think this is it? It shouldn't be. Like you said, there's too much money left on the table. I think once everybody's heads cool down, I'm sure Tony's like, no matter what a lot of these fans are saying now, like, oh, look, they don't need him. Look, the ratings are still high. I'm like, he's still one of their draws. So if he would just go away, and this would essentially be the end of his career, because I don't see him going anywhere else. I don't know if I buy that.
Maybe I'll go back to New Japan. Can you imagine he went to New Japan? Then all those freaking marks would love him again. They'd
Would
be
love him
like,
again.
"Oh my god, he's returning. He's going to New Japan. Oh my god,
Yeah, the same
let me
people that are insulting him
let me
now.
just bust all over."
Yeah. I guess so, the guy's also out injured. We'll see what happens. We've got a lot of time here. I don't think he's just gonna, just release him right now. That'd be kind of stupid.
Yeah, Charlie, your thoughts? And first of all, how was my jingle?
Your jingle was fantastic.
Thank you.
I don't see them leaving so much money on the table, and this guy just sounds like another mark to me.
Yeah,
We're all marks. We're all marks, but he sounds like another mark.
It's
I think I'll shout out my buddy from Up Next, Davey Portman, when he said the other night to me, we were discussing, and we're like, Tony Khan basically, it's like we talked before, it's him playing with his action figures, right? And he had all these ideas, all these great ideas, and he kind of ran through them in the first couple of years, and now he's run out of ideas.
well, it's the Yellow Mead notebook where you would write down fantasy matches. Well, at least that's what I used to do because I was a bored only child, and I would and there, this is with the dial-up internet, so and you have one phone line, you can't go online, and I would write, this match, this wrestler versus this wrestler. And that's literally probably what Tony Khan did for his entire teenage life. And he got to own a wrestling company. He got his favorite wrestler of all time, Chris Jericho, and all his favorite wrestlers. And he didn't know how this was all going to work with egos. Charlie, what do you think?
I just don't think this is the last we'll see of Punk. Like we said, there's time. Is he facing a suspension as well, or
This is the problem. Any other organization, when they would have such a big could you imagine the Montreal Screwjob happening and Vince mentioned nothing about it?
Yeah,
not a single thing. Tony Khan hasn't mentioned a single thing about it. It's either really smart business where they eventually come together and it just all gets laid out on the table and they secretly worked out all these deals for that, or he's just a really bad businessman.
I'd go with the latter.
Frank,
I don't even know anymore. Just watching Tony come out the other night to hype up the crowd. He's a walking cartoon character, to be honest. I'm not sure how his heart doesn't explode out of his chest at certain points. And I want to like the guy. I do. We joke all the time.
I kind of like him.
I kind of like him, but I do. But at the same time, I'm like,
he's a boy in a man's world. He's a little boy.
When he first started AEW, look at how young he was. It was like he was like the 43rd president of the United States with his ownership of AEW. He was so young. He looked like a schoolboy. Now he just looks like a mad scientist.
Cocaine-fueled mad scientist.
It is crazy.
His eyes are going to pop out of his head one night.
They always talked how Vince didn't sleep. I don't think this man sleeps. He just tweets all night or looks stuff, what's trending, and
he's sitting on his desk with a big pile of cocaine like Tony Montana. What did the dirt sheets say? They
Bro,
didn't got a 5-star match.
I wish I'd recorded the other night when he first came out, right after Dynamite. And he's just, and stay tuned, because Sting! I can't even do it the way he did it. He was like the high-pitched screaming. I literally thought he was going to pass out on the stage.
So, per Fightful, we're going to move on from Punk.
Right.
Per Fightful, so we haven't moved on from SRS.
Help us.
Regarding the story of WWE contacting more AEW wrestlers besides Malachi Black. So that's confirmed. Malachi Black was contacted. All roads point to Malachi Black probably returning to WWE. He does have a non-compete, so God knows how long that non-compete actually is. I mean, probably the standard 90 days.
Yeah.
We'll probably get him at the Rumble.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
I don't think they want him like back in 3 months. I think it's good to hold off his return for a while. But also, I've been talking about this since Triple H took over. I said Malachi Black. I think we've all said Malachi Black would be someone.
Because his wife, he's there too. So
yeah, that they would probably want to bring back. They sent out feelers to FTR. That was another.
Really?
Yep.
Good.
And Swerve.
Oh well, you knew that was just a matter of time. With.
But Swerve is weird. Like Swerve is in this like. I don't know how to describe it. Like just very. And like the typical, I left that company and I'm doing better here, which maybe,
Really?
I don't know. Maybe you are like Hit Row. That could have been a really good thing.
And it still could be.
I think with him.
With or without him, to be honest.
Yeah. But with him, I think it goes further. But I don't know. I'm not a fan of Swerve as much as other people are. I could care less whether or not he would come back to WWE out of all the people we have mentioned.
Yeah.
Bobby Fish. All of a sudden, Bobby Fish can talk. The dude can't talk when it comes to the mic in a professional wrestling ring. But all of a sudden, you get him on a podcast, in his own podcast. The dude is he's Howard Stern, apparently. He can just talk. Bobby Fish tried to convince Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly to request their release from AEW and go back to WWE, but they told him no. Yeah, because who's Bobby Fish to tell? He was the
third fiddle,
the worst part of the group.
Yeah,
he always got hurt.
Yeah.
Not to mention he's older than them both.
Yeah.
As much as I'd love to see an Undisputed Era main roster run, it's not likely. You think they'll go?
I think with O'Reilly, O'Reilly probably feels bad because he got hurt and he's getting paid under Tony's watch to have surgery. And I would say the next year or two, I wouldn't rule it out. Especially with the rumor mill not confirmed about Cole and Britt and that whole situation with Christian.
True, Adam Cole could just want to get the hell out of there.
He might want to get the hell out of there.
For sure, I could see him coming back, at least Cole, because obviously he's got a lot of time of his career, and and Hunter was a big, Cole guy. Obviously, he brought him in to be the top guy of his whole company there.
Yeah, in all honesty,
his whole brand.
In all honesty, AEW hasn't done Adam Cole any favors whatsoever. You want to talk about
Owen Hart tournament
cooling off? How hot was his debut in AEW?
Yeah,
I would know. I was there.
It was unbelievable.
He was He main events a pay-per-view with Hangman for the title, and then it's like, okay, they set up a feud that's never going to happen now since Fish is gone and Kyle's out for like a year, I think. So
next year, yeah. I mean,
that's what terrible timing.
Terrible.
Terrible timing for a lot of these guys that sign contracts over there. Obviously, starting with Malachi, sign these long-term contracts. Yeah, who if they had, obviously if they had a time machine and if they could see the future, I think they would have waited.
Reached out?
Probably.
I don't know. Andrade is like barely appears on AEW anymore, so I don't know what's going on with him. I think he'd be another guy, obviously, that Hunter would bring back in if he wanted to come. So, obviously.
So Alvarez reported after the backstage brawl. This is hilarious. Nobody's communicating anything to Kenny and the Bucks. Nothing. They're absolutely 100% in the dark. Does anyone believe that? Does anyone believe that?
No.
After Tony Khan created the company AEW because of that elite group, created tag team trios titles because of that group, you think that the scuffle is going to cut off communication with those four?
Absolutely not.
It just the proof in the pudding is that this was reported by Alvarez. Alvarez and Meltzer are pretty much bedfellows, and the Bucks named their finishing move the Meltzer driver. Do you think this is all fed information? This to make things look bleaker than they actually are? I don't get it.
Yeah, because you can't tell me these guys aren't going to be back before the end of the year. So they're definitely working on something. As we discussed when this whole thing was first going down, before even the media incident, scrum incident, the first stories about he didn't like Hangman, what he said, and all that stuff that came out. I think we did episodes together, all three of us. So I mean, the Civil War talk. So yeah, they know.
We knew it was coming.
We knew it was coming, but they're going to try to use it to their advantage as well. They should.
Yeah.
So of course they're going to keep working the internet.
Keep working the internet. I think Tony's working the internet too. Tony Khan.
Whatever.
I mean, Tony Khan's a self-admitted subscriber to the Wrestling Observer.
Oh, geez.
Could you imagine Vince McMahon ever be subscribed to the Wrestling Observer? I think the only reason, when it was like print, when you actually would get it in the mail, I think the only reason he would do it is just to wipe his ass with it.
Probably.
But other than that, he would have no use for it. It would just be the toilet paper for him. Because a lot of these things are just speculation. And again, that's what kind of like we do, but we're not charging people to have our opinion. And again, like, comment, share, subscribe if you're watching this. We love you.
Yeah, we love you guys. I don't think you guys are like you're not quoting us in posts on different wrestling sites. Well,
according to JML, Fire, Frank, and Charlie on the Weekly Verdict, Tony Khan's a massive cocaine addict. Can you imagine that? The one thing that we've ever said on the show would be that, and that would go viral. We would be the pariahs of the internet. I wouldn't even want that kind of attention. Yeah, that is just, it's unbelievable. Also, I guess this would lead us to some AEW news to finish off. MJF renegotiated a deal. It's the same length, but $1 million or more per year, MJF.
Good for him.
So, kudos. Well deserved. One of the pillars that's actually still over. So, in spite of bad booking, how many big pay-per-view matches has MJF lost?
Yeah.
It's kind of similar to Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins could lose on pay-per-views and he's still over. And MJF could lose on pay-per-views and he's still over. But I'll tell you what, if this man's not wearing the title at the end of the full gear, I don't know what the hell they're doing.
He has to at this point.
Yeah,
John Moxley, 3-time champion. Fire Frank was at Grandslam. We'll talk a little about Grandslam. I'm going to talk about the the debut. I don't even know how to phrase this. Yes, I don't even know what the role is for this person. And I'm talking about Soraya, aka FKA Paige. Is she wrestling? Is she going to be a manager? Is she cleared? Is she not clear? I'm not clear on any of this. The last thing that I remember is she was either on her Twitch stream a few months back, said that she was cleared. That videotape has been erased. It's like Watergate. That videotape's been erased. So now there's some screen grabs and screen recordings of it. But then it's been reported that she's not cleared to wrestle. She's going to speak during Dynamite to clear the air. If this isn't for a wrestling, like an actual match, I don't know why you're going to sign her. And I'm a big fan of Paige. Charlie knows this. Even before some of the other stuff came out, I was a big of Paige the wrestler. There's people that are fans of Paige because of internet exploits. But I'd love to see her back in the ring. She's 30 years old? She's not old. And if she's cleared to wrestle, let her go. Let her wrestle.
Yeah.
Have her be like Edge, like what Edge is doing right now. Just have her pop off some dream matches. Frank, you were there. How was the reaction live?
Yeah, like the lights go out, this music's playing, everybody's like, well, who's that? Like, I don't think anybody predicted who was coming out, and suddenly the name comes on the screen, and then I'm sure it took several people a second. Who was that? I mean, right away, me and my friends, we were just like, what? Cino's next to me, we were just looking at each other like, what's going on? We weren't expecting that. Like, when her contract was up, obviously we thought maybe, like, I'm pretty sure when somebody's contract expires or they leave, Tony Khan has like the bat symbol comes up. He's like, oh, I could sign them. She like makes an entry. A friend of mine compared it to when Jeff Hardy made his AW debut and he did like his full entrance while his brother was getting beat up.
Yep.
They stopped everything in the ring and she's just like doing her whole entrance. The
crowd got really licking the blood.
Yeah, it was a pretty good reaction. Then she didn't actually do anything or say anything, unfortunately. But yeah, like you said, if it's not for I don't see people say, oh, it should be a match. I'm like, well, they tried that. I don't think that really worked.
It didn't work.
And I'll be honest with her, like you said, I was like when she first came in, when she was first signed and then she was in FCW and NXT, it was different. She was different. And she was wrestling since she was younger. She's like a veteran at a young age. So she could go.
Diva,
she was different for everybody else at the time.
Yeah.
Not just look and gimmick, but like just in ring. Now you have so many top level female talents, even in both companies, even.
Yeah.
But
I believe she's been training for an in-ring return.
She said she was cleared and then went down. Then people this week, there was stories that coming out, well, she's not cleared, and she responded to it or something, saying, you don't know what you're talking about or something like that. I don't know what's going on. I can't imagine. Well, no, I shouldn't say I can't imagine. I can't imagine Tony Khan would throw money at somebody to not actually do anything. Because look, he's paying, Mark Henry and Paul White.
Well,
you guys remember why Edge actually got cleared to wrestle by WWE, right?
Yeah.
Because he got contacted by Tony Khan, did he not? After that SummerSlam in Toronto where he speared Elias, and everybody's like, wait a minute, you can do moves?
Yep.
And then he said he claims that he tells the story that he was doing the Sheamus's YouTube show and he fell off the bike and he felt fine. He was like, wait a minute. And the rest was history. I don't know, because if she was cleared, it's weird that WWE wouldn't clear her. They cleared, Bryan eventually. They cleared Edge. I guess maybe they just don't value her to that level to want to take the risk.
I think I think aesthetically, Paige is probably something that WWE just didn't want to put out there. Because she's
Yeah.
changed her look since the last time she's wrestled.
Yeah.
She's had some enhancements.
She looks completely
She's
different.
had more the tattoos and everything. Like,
Yeah.
it's a different Paige, right?
Yeah, and she's had a lot of bad press, a lot of different things happening in her
But
life.
she
Not
had a
all her
really
fault.
nice interview with Renee
Yeah,
Paquette,
I saw that.
Moxley, whatever. This on her podcast
Sure.
where she opened up about a lot of her addictions and everything like that. So it was good that she laid that out there in the open. And to me, that actually signaled she's going to wrestle somewhere because no one comes
Yeah.
out with that and doesn't parlay that into a deal with the company.
Right. And I kind of said, when is she going to pop up on Dynamite or something like that? But then it's been a little while then, so I wasn't really expecting it the other night in that spot where it happened.
I haven't looked at the AEW merch shop, but if they haven't released a T-shirt yet that's like Soraya, and then on the back turn the page, they're an absolute marketing noobs. It literally would be the perfect T-shirt.
Yeah.
But I know it's a good thing. Yeah, maybe it's a good thing she can't be Paige because it's not like we don't have enough pages in AEW at the moment.
Yeah.
I think Sean Pollock himself made a joke about you could have a whole stable and just call them the chapter.
Yeah.
Adam Page, Ethan Page, the former Page.
Yeah.
Brian Cage.
Obviously the match would be her and Britt. It'd be interesting.
Yes.
But they're gonna have to warm it up. So obviously Soraya and Jamie, Soraya and
yeah. I'm still a little confused.
You can't just go right into it.
I mean, they've been building Jamie and Britt like breaking up for months, and they keep teasing it. It reminds me of when we did an earlier show about WCW Hollywood Havoc. We were talking about Marcus Bagwell. I remember when he was like would constantly tease he was leaving the NWO and come back, and then finally he actually did, and nobody cared anymore.
Well, maybe we get the turn in the Brits unite, and you have Soraya and Hayter versus Britt and Rebel as a tag match,
right?
As like the first match we get her back as a tag match.
Yeah.
Hayter could do a lot of the heavy lifting with Britt, and then you have the two. Rebel's not a great worker at this point.
Very kindly thing to say. Yeah, I don't know. I just found it funny. They keep doing this teasing that she's gonna do to stop her, then she attacks the other person. They did this 2 weeks in a row. I'm just kind of.
I'm a little over it.
I'm wondering if just because they decided to bring in Soraya, they're like, okay, we have to change this up because we got to do some kind of tag match, like you said.
I think it's going to be. I kind of think that makes sense to have Hayter and Soraya as a team.
Yeah, I think we can get to that. I mean, maybe they can first do like a trio, some kind of thing where
we'll have a trio of women tag.
No titles, but they can fight against her and maybe Tony and somebody, Athena the other night, whoever we throw in there.
Oh man,
I think the better story probably would have been if they were going to build to a breakup, right? Like they could have put the interim title on Hayter and made Britt jealous of her, but
Athena might be the worst signing of all time. She's so bad. It's so terrible.
She's managed to get worse.
WWE and NXT did wonders with her presentation.
Right. They made you think, wow. And she can wrestle. Like, she can do well, but like her whole presentation is bad.
Yeah.
Her wing, like, is so low rent. I don't know. The stuff, her mic is like still like atrocious. I don't know. Maybe they Vince
for
knew
those that don't watch
AEW,
she's the former Ember Moon. Her name's Athena.
Yeah.
We got new tag team champions, the Acclaimed. Thank God they did this. They had to. They had to.
I mean, the match wasn't going to be as good as the pay-per-view match, but maybe it was they knew what they're doing, holding off because the crowd was like molten for these guys to come out. They were waiting. It
Literally.
was second match of the night of Dynamite, but they were like ready. That's all I
They're the
read.
new age outlaws.
Yeah, essentially. Like funny enough that Billy's involved with them. That's essentially what they are.
Yep.
They found the thing that the crowd likes to do along with them.
Yep.
And they were just like a put together team on Dark or whatever. And they decided, oh, we'll let him rap and then we'll incorporate little things. But for some reason, when they started hanging out with the Gun Club and Billy Gunn and all this stuff, they just found, well, a little stupid hand signal. That's all you need. That's all you need in wrestling. A catchphrase, a silly hand signal. That's all you need. But these guys, in ring, they're good. They bring it. Both good workers, and I've been watching Bones since he was a rookie, like in the indie scene. So I'm very happy for him. Crowd went nuts, like I said. It's like one of the pops of the night. So everyone was wearing these shirts. It was a fun night.
Charlie, your thoughts there
with them?
I'm glad they finally won.
Yeah,
they deserve it.
They've been bright spots for a while.
Yeah, I think it was like just they realized they had to strike while it's hot.
Yeah. And I think Swerve and Their Glory are better suited as heels at this point.
Oh, yeah. They worked very well as heels the other night.
They do. What else was on that show?
Well, we had the opening, right? Jericho.
Oh, yeah. That's a good one.
You've been talking about this match off camera for the last week.
Claudio. The internet's favorite wrestler, Claudio. Tony Khan. Bravo. When you're looking to get a TV deal, who do you put the belt on? You put it on Chris Jericho. You know why? Because Chris Jericho sells. He sells to advertisers. People like him. You know who doesn't? Claudio. Great wrestler. No personality.
Yeah.
Sorry. I know it's going to offend some people. It is what it is.
Vince wasn't wrong when he was talking about personality wise.
The lights are on, but no one's home.
I love to watch him wrestle, and he was great here. Obviously, Jericho, like he said, that's who you put the title on. It's a smart business, and he still can go. And honestly, this year has probably been his best year yet in AEW, and his best year in general in a long time.
And it continues his best wrestler in the world of all time storyline. Ring of Honor champion, WCW, because he won the WCW belt when he unified.
Technically, yeah.
WWF Undisputed. He's won every title.
Yeah. First AEW champion.
AEW champion.
He was ECW TV champion. He won titles everywhere,
Yeah.
And just
US champion, TV champion, Intercontinental champion.
I mean, everything. He always sells it well. And if you're going to try, like you said, for whatever reason, he's so determined to get this Ring of Honor thing to be a thing. But if you're going to do that,
Do you think this ends up being Daniel Garcia takes the Ring of Honor championship off of Jericho?
Oh, yeah, I can see that.
They unify the Pure in the Ring of Honor. Because there's no reason to have both belts. They just unify it.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to start a company, like nobody's going to understand the Pure title. It was just like a specific rule. Like you don't really need it. It was good, like in its day, I guess. But now you're trying to start. I mean, it's tough enough if you're trying to get your same audience that watches all your program now to watch yet another show, or if they're trying to appeal to the older Ring of Honor fans. But the presentation of the night was good. You had Silk in there. You had the announcer. You had everybody there. Riccaboni was doing commentary. So yeah, it was a great opener. The crowd got really hot right away for it. Great match, right finish. Yeah. What else can you say? It got us hyped right away.
Charlie, your opinion? Do you second what I said?
Yeah, definitely. I could see them unifying the championships.
Well, what do you think of the whole marketing thing that I said?
Yeah, he's the absolute right guy to go with for Ring of Honor to get a television show.
And I get it. It's going to upset people that Claudio didn't get this long reign as Ring of Honor champion. But you know what? At least he got a world title.
Yeah.
at some point in his career, and that was always, oh, he never got a world title. Well, there you go. You got your world title. I don't think he sniffs one again. He's a good mid-card wrestler. He is not a main event caliber top superstar. He's not. He just doesn't have it. He doesn't have it. He's not Daniel Bryan. He's not Daniel Bryan
right.
is entertaining on the mic. He comes up with gimmicks and gets them over.
Yeah.
Name one thing that Claudio came up with as Cesaro. Nothing. The We the People thing was Zeb
It's
Coulter.
even him.
Yeah.
That was it.
Well, that's fair.
Yeah, he was okay as the occasional big match. He got a token pay-per-view with Roman last year. So I mean, he can go, and I like watching him wrestle. And I like him, but it's fair to say, I mean, I don't know why
He's a freak athlete, and you're super strong, but
he'll be remembered for that. He's a strong, good. He can work with anybody, but unfortunately, doesn't have it. You got to have it. Like you said about Bryan, he was able to get over just as a strong in-ring guy, but also character work. And that's how you get over in the mainstream. You got to have character work. You know,
like Punk isn't the caliber of wrestler
right?
that Claudio is, but it's the mic work, it's the character work, it's the whole package. There's more than just being a wrestler. There's 1,001 good wrestlers, but there's only 15 to 20 guys that you're like, man, those are stars.
Yeah.
He is not in that category. He's a elite level wrestler, not a star.
That's okay. I don't know why people are so like. At some point, fans just become like these. I don't know, too serious. Like I only like 5-star wrestlers, and people do this, and they do these moves and work right. And sorry, that was my bad nerd impression. But that's basically. And like I try to be like that at one point.
Every time I hear a nerd impression, I think of Jameson.
Jameson, yeah. With some glasses on. Greasy.
But,
yeah, I don't know. It's just I always found that funny. I mean, at one point I tried. We all fall for the peer pressure, like in the message board day. Oh, I like this guy. He should be pushed. Now I'm just like I just like guys that entertain me.
Yeah.
I don't think. And Charlie's been doing shows with me off and on for. Wow, almost a decade, Charlie.
Yeah.
Have I ever been on the Cesaro train of like, man, this guy needs to be the world champion, like right now? Okay. You know who I remember because I listened back a long time ago, some of our early episodes, like a few months ago.
Yeah.
I was all in on Big E right away.
Yeah.
I was like, boom, he's a world champion. It took forever to get him there, but he was. I'm glad that happened. But at least Tony Khan gave Cesaro, I call him Cesaro because I don't know, it's just what it is, a world championship. No one else did. He gave it to him.
Yeah.
And it's his decision to take it away. And you know, if you ask Cesaro, he's such a nice dude. Yeah, you know what? Jericho should have it if they want to get Ring of Honor a TV deal because I care about Ring of Honor. That's how I carved my niche in the business. It's probably better that Jericho has this belt.
Yeah.
What else on that card that we want to talk about? Obviously, we had the main event. Was there anything else that I missed?
You had Pac and Orange Cassidy. Whatever. It was decent.
I'm tired. I'm
yeah.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I am tired of the. I don't understand if Pac's a heel. Is he a face?
Oh, it seems to change by the week. I don't understand with him, like him and Lucha Brothers. I don't know. They're like on different page. I never can tell.
Are they a trio or are they not a trio?
They're trios champs, but we don't. Are they a trio? He's got another belt that nobody cares about.
I call them the Bermuda Triangle because I'm just lost when it comes to their voting.
Yeah, I don't know.
He's just lost in the interior of them.
Yeah.
And they like. I don't know. He gave him another. He's got 2 titles now for no.
They might as well have a manager called Emilio Earhart. Like, just manage them because I'm freaking lost.
The prestigious All Atlantic title. Yeah, I think a lot of people in the crowd thought he was good. That Cassidy was going to win, but he did not.
No, Cassidy.
He's pretty much.
How many title changes can you have in one show?
I know.
When you're crowning a new world
Well, for a
champion.
minute, I thought they were just going to go all. We're just going to go crazy
We'll
here.
switch
They
everything
booked-
up.
Well, you got
They
Charlie. You got to
booked this
understand.
show better than All Out.
Was this show better than All Out?
Yes.
That's what they were aiming for, which is
No,
absolutely
if it, just the
ridiculous.
2-hour Dynamite, I wouldn't say.
With the Rampage?
I have to watch it back because I can't tell you, because by the time Rampage started and by the time it ended, we were talking about past 12:30 at night. So I don't have a great.
The night was just getting started from
feedback.
Tony.
Yeah, I think I talked about it last month when we talked about All Out, when I said
He was like,
yeah, oh yeah, he came out. He came out multiple times, guys, during Rampage, and then he came out at the end. We were left, and all of a sudden we heard him on the mic again. I said, of course, he's going to come out.
Listen, I love Tony. Tony Khan would be an awesome person to hang out with, and I would love to have
Yeah.
Tony Khan on the show. Obviously,
Oh,
I
yeah.
wouldn't bring up the cocaine jokes. I'd be very respectful.
Sure.
It would just be an interest. Can you imagine the three of us doing deep dive wrestling conversation with Tony
sure.
Khan?
Yeah.
It would be amazing.
He would.
He knows.
He probably would be
He
just as
puts
good.
me and Frank to shame. He really does.
Yeah.
He really does. And Charlie as well. Charlie's more well versed in WWE. But Tony, forget it. He's Crockett, New Japan.
I mean, he would definitely be the
ECW.
fourth member of our Survivor Series team if we had to take on. One. I'd be right there beside him. Actually, the Rampage had some good stuff on it. We had the Sting and Darby tag match.
Can we talk about that? Can we talk about the Sting thing?
Oh yes, because it aired last night, so it's no longer a spoiler.
Yeah. So Great Muta is going to have his retirement match, and Sting's going to be a part of it. That is awesome.
Yeah,
that is awesome.
Yeah, that was a cool moment.
I'm sold.
Oddly enough, somebody I know had said something about Muta, so I had a feeling he was going to be there, but I didn't know what they were doing. I wasn't even thinking about it. So when he came out, it was like, wow. And I haven't seen him. I saw him live one time have a match during one of those TNA New York City tapings. He randomly came in when they were building towards that, when they did that Bound for Glory in Japan. But yeah, it was just cool to see them together, because that's I first know of Muta's his stuff with Sting.
Yeah,
his feud with Sting, teaming with Sting. So yeah. For a guy that's been accused of not knowing anything about Japanese wrestling, I know Muta. Maybe not the way other people know Muta, but he's a legend to me. So it was a cool moment. It was a fun match. Sting took a crazy table bump. Darby, of course, jumping off the entrance stage.
And I'm going to give AEW credit. We've been giving them a lot of credit lately. Why couldn't Vince book Sting like this in WWE?
I think he resented that it took him so long to come over, and he just didn't see it in him. Sting didn't look great in his WrestleMania. I mean, he did okay, but I guess they didn't think he could do all this crazy stuff. And then obviously he has that injury, so you think, okay, he's done, and now he doesn't care anymore. He's out there taking table bumps.
Sting match before that spot, I can't watch that match.
Oh, the Rollins Sting match, yeah.
That leading up to that was a really good match.
It was a good match. And I was like, wow, look, Sting still can go. And then the unfortunate situation. I wish he didn't stay in TNA that long. I wish he had come over, and maybe Vince, if he had come over 10 years earlier, maybe he would have
had a match. That would have happened.
At the very least, he would have got over. So they would have had to push him somewhat at some point. They all, But yeah, I mean, it was cool to see them back together. Hook and Action Bronson in a tag match was fun. Yeah, he put in the work. You could see. He trained for this match, so that was fun. Like I said, but in the middle of the show, just kind of, we were tired. It was late. And then they decided to have this 20-minute, it was like a 40-minute segment when Jungle Boy was out there. He had this 20-plus minute match with Phoenix. I don't know how much aired on TV.
I'm over that.
Then they had Christian come out, this continuing the lucha. Yeah, I'm over that too.
I'm over it.
At that point, I was done. They still had 4 more matches to go. We had a battle royal that they started with everyone attacking Hangman Page, and they brawled outside the ring. I thought it was like a TNA reverse battle royal for a second. At this point, we were on fumes. If I wasn't there with my guys, I wouldn't have had such a good time at this point. And I've started people claiming, "Oh, it was a good show. Why would you like it?" I said, I've been at these 7-hour WrestleManias. At a point, you just don't care anymore.
Yeah.
So by the time they go and have this battle royal and then Paige wins, and then they're like, oh, by the way, we got one more match because that's true. And we were like, oh, that's right, because we didn't see Mark Henry yet. Poor Ricky Starks and Hobbs had to come out there and have a lights out match at like 12:20 a.m. And they tried. They really beat each other up. I felt bad for them. Half the crowd was leaving or leaving more. It reminded me of like a 205 live taping at that point.
I can't wait till both of those guys are in WWE at some point.
Oh yeah,
Hobbs and Starks.
Oh definitely. But yeah, overall it was a fun day. Like I said, we had a great day. I want to shout out all my boys. We had a great pre-party at Cheap Shots Bar in Queens. Shout out them. They put up with us being loud, playing theme songs, acting like idiots, doing all our inside jokes. So yeah, that was fun. Just being there. Shout out Dickie Bird coming all the way from Australia. He's the guy that did he's the guy that did all our video packages. You saw the Fire Frank's Fun House. That was all him, his editing. Awesome guy, hilarious. It was just great being it. We had a great time. You saw the pictures, JML.
Yeah.
He bought this belt. He just for fun. We always make fun of people that have belts, so he goes and buys this ridiculously expensive AEW title belt. We have fun with it. We're acting like idiots. It was just like we were just we were reacting to everything. At least early on, before we got kind of tired of the show. Yeah. But it was fun, just having fun. I wasn't like thinking like, oh my god, what am I thinking about this match? I wasn't analyzing anything. We were just having fun. So
yeah.
I'll give him that. It was a fun live experience. It's just too long. You can't do that on a Wednesday. You got people in this. Like, by the time the show is over, nobody can get home. The transportation is done. Like, it doesn't make sense. You don't need to do a 2-hour show just because it's in the stadium.
Or just start it early.
Start it early. Or just, tape delay. It doesn't have to be live. Do it later.
People will take off work or leave work early to go.
I mean, I'm glad there was no way I was going to make it to work the next morning. But, but it was a fun experience. Like I said, but I mean, looking back, it was a good show. Was it better than pay-per-view? Probably not. Was it leading up to what Tony was trying to hype it at? I don't know. He had some interesting quotes. I think I sent you a couple of them. If you want, we talk about our Tony Khan quote of the week. But
what can
I say?
Pull it up real quick.
Fun night. Full Gear will be here in Jersey in November. I'll probably go. I tried to get tickets yesterday, but unfortunately, Ticketmaster again seems to not be working. They just doesn't want to take any of my credit cards or anybody's for that matter. I don't know how people got tickets other than using these bots or something. They just keep declining payments for no reason. So I don't know. I'm starting to think it's a conspiracy. Maybe Tony Khan secretly bought Ticketmaster. I don't know. Every time I try to buy tickets for one of these shows, there's problems. Ticketmaster in the mud for sure.
Well, okay. This is the quote. I remember this. We're running a lot of great shows around the Northeast. It's so many great wrestling markets in one geographic region. I'll say it. The crown jewel of wrestling markets. The real crown jewel of wrestling markets, not some BS overseas in Saudi Arabia, Tony Khan.
Wow.
That just sounds like a random comment on any wrestling post, does it not?
Yeah.
It's like wrestling Twitter 101. Oh, why are they going to Saudi Arabia?
I'm pretty sure the Khans have some kind of involvement with the Saudis, do they not? I don't know what it's. I'm sure they've got some kind of business dealings over there, so I don't know why he's talking about the region. I mean, if he means going to Chicago 700 times a year and Texas and Florida.
New Orleans.
He's doing a lot of. They are doing a lot of Northeast this year. There's a lot of stuff coming up in general right now in this area, my area, for sure. Yeah, pretty much.
WWE news.
Yeah,
Survivor Series.
Yes.
War games.
War games.
The big news of the week, I'd say.
How do we feel about that? I think Survivor Series obviously needed to revamp. Charlie, what do you think?
Well, how long has it been since we've had random 5-on-5s at Survivor Series?
It's been quite a bit. Definitely since the second brand split when they had SmackDown Live and all, and they did a draft and all that.
Then they gimmicked it with Elimination Chamber. Then they gimmicked it with brand warfare. So it's just another gimmick rebranding for Survivor Series. But I think this can go over.
It gave it some kind of juice. It's just like people are wanting to care about it. At least we have some,
What I like upset about is that they won't have brand warfare at this, and we won't see Bobby Lashley versus Gunther.
I think we could still maybe see something. Maybe they'll do one or two of those. I hope they do like an actual Survivor Series match, at least one of them, because I'm always gonna be partial to them since it's the first pay-per-view I've ever watched. So yeah, those can work. You don't have to you can't do brand warfare. I like when they would do they would mix up all the feuds, even when they had two brands, they would just have a babyface team of Raw and SmackDown guys or ECW guys like the year Punk was with DX. That kind of stuff works. But at least here it makes sense. It's better than putting on NXT. They don't need it right now. So to bring it here, I know Triple H has always wanted to do this on the main roster, which is why we got the Chamber, because they didn't really, Vince didn't want to actually do War Games.
The 91 Survivor Series did it right. When they had the finalist, like the last match was the remaining.
Oh, the 1990. Yeah, that was the first pay-per-view I watched. Yeah, when they had the survivors form teams. Of course, it was heels against faces, but yeah.
1990. Yeah, 1990.
My first show, Taker's debut.
Great. That was the best. And you had Hogan and Warrior, and was it Von Erich at the end with them?
Tito Santana, believe it or not, with a trio.
Yeah,
with a trio.
Versus basically was it 5 guys or something?
Yeah, it was like DiBiase and Martel's entire team.
Yeah, it was 5. It was 5 on 3.
It gave it some stakes.
Yeah, it was cool. And then after that, it was just
they just really started.
Remember Weighted RKO versus DX that one year, and it was just DX ran through them in 4 minutes. There was a weird team, Punk was on the team.
And Punk and
Hardy was on the team.
The Hardys and DX or something.
Yeah.
Jeff Hardy against they had Shawn eliminated Mike Knox in 3 seconds with a super kick, and he asked, "Who's that guy?"
Yeah, he was like, "Who's that guy?"
That was pretty funny, actually. But then they started doing just random it just became about it's another pay-per-view. I would say only time I remember in one of those random one was when they did DX and Cena in the triple threat for the title, and Shawn kicks Hunter as soon as the bell.
That was a great triple threat match.
That was a great match. I love that one.
But
yeah, it's kind of cool. War Game. I mean, people are gonna say, "Well, they're not gonna have blood. They don't have a top on the cage." And okay, I know. Actually, we could bring up Hunter did address his feelings on blood or not blood, but actually intentionally bleeding. And I kind of agree with him now. I'll be honest.
What did he say?
Well, they asked him. He goes, "Well, we used to do that, and we haven't." He said he would feel it'd be kind of irresponsible to go back to that. He's like, people can bleed, we'll check on them and all that, but he's basically saying, "Hey, we don't want to have just people bleeding for no reason." Maybe War Games would be a reason to, but I can do without it. I can do without it for the most part. I would think differently, but after watching Moxley bleed, just doing a promo.
Yeah.
He's reminds me of Sandman, always bleeding. It should mean something. Like we talked about our kayfabe aside when we recorded our Hollywood Havoc review, talking about Cactus was bleeding from the eye hard way. Yeah, that was pretty wild, but I can see what he means. And there's a way they can do it. We saw some of these NXT War Games. They had great matches without having to resort to any bleeding. I don't care about the top of the cage. They can do no top means they can do these wild spots from the top, which we saw. Be interesting to see what teams they do. I know they said there's one women's, one men's, much like NXT was doing. You can go a lot of ways with that.
I mean, you're going to have
what are you going to do?
Damage control with probably Raquel when she turns. I think that's what's going to happen eventually.
Yeah.
The only way you're going to get Shotzi over as a babyface is if you have Raquel just beat the living crap out of her. Because that would build up the empathy for her character.
Yeah.
Sure.
And I think that's the turn they're waiting to do is for Raquel to turn on Shotzi, join Damage Control. That would make more sense to me.
Makes sense, yeah.
Than the Aaliyah turn. Because Aaliyah,
it's a thrown together tag team. I know they may have been friends at the PC, but they were never really together on TV. So
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if they're doing 4 teams of 4 or 5. We'll see. It was 4, I think, in NXT, but yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things you can do. Are we going to do like a bloodline versus people? Are we gonna do a title? I don't know
Bloodline
what they're going to do. I don't
versus
know. We can't do a champ versus champ match with Roman this year. So
Roman versus himself
Roman versus himself.
because he wrestles a mirror.
I just want to see, unless we're going to do it. I don't know when they're building up. Obviously, they're building up Sammy to turn face. He's been great again last night. I don't know if you saw this. What a segment!
That was fantastic.
That was one of the best segments I've ever seen.
You can give Sammy and Kevin Owens virtually anything, and they're
gonna get it
knock
over.
it out the park.
It's just the emotion there. He's so into being their friend. Like he's so sincere about it.
Yeah.
And I love that. Like I said, I love that Jimmy Uso loves him, but Jay hates him. Solo kind of likes him. Roman, I think, is just using him because Roman's scum. That's his character.
Oh, Solo loves him. He beat the crap out of Ricochet.
Yeah, I love it. He's this protector. I don't want to see, like I said, I don't want to see, like, I know they're building up a turn. That has to be the point of this, but I don't want to see it yet. I'm enjoying this so much.
Yeah.
That shirt he gives him, that's going to probably be the big seller. Yeah, it's just so much fun.
Probably be a throwaway Royal Rumble match with Roman and Sammy for the title or something like that.
I mean, I can see the point. I can see like them building up to him and Kevin reuniting, going after the Usos for the title or something like that.
Probably at WrestleMania. That
would be a good Mania match. Yeah. Like a no DQ tag match or something.
WWE news. So I'll start with this, reported by Wrestling Observer Live, Brian Alvarez. At the time when Bray Wyatt was fired by WWE last year, he had, quote unquote, an issue with being cleared to compete.
Mm-hmm.
That issue was a factor in WWE's decision to release him. Alvarez went on to say that he doesn't know if the issue has ever been resolved. So I'll start with that. I'm going to get into this White Rabbit Jefferson Airplane thing. Everyone thinks it's one of two people. It's been narrowed down to Bray and a Karrion Kross secondary character, the White Rabbit, Lucha Underground. And to me, it would be irresponsible to make a second Karrion Kross character.
It doesn't make sense.
Exactly got a full-on Karrion Kross character on the main roster as himself.
Yeah. I don't think it's him. I mean, it's smart for them to play with some people, because some people, like we said, we're all marks. So when people like, well, he was this. It's smart throwing these hints out. It could be these things. And they kind of leaned into it a little bit, and Kross himself leaned into it.
Didn't Bray have the rabbit?
Yeah, he did.
In the Firefly Funhouse. No one brings that up.
People bring it up. Yeah, he did. He's mentioned, like, there's little things that are in these little weird videos and these things that they're leading you to that are lines from like Bray Wyatt promos from FCW, which is a really deep cut. And that's exactly the kind of stuff that he would come up with.
Yes.
Like deep cuts. Right? I mean, everyone's assuming it's him. It would be disappointing if it was anyone else, but I like the marketing. It's different. They're showing QR codes in the stands. People are walking around with signs. Last night it was on the garbage can.
The Extreme Rules poster apparently has lanterns and other stuff.
Yeah, there's I like we were talking about how there's always stuff going around in the background ever since Hunter took over, and I like this stuff.
Yeah,
because it gets people talking, gets people excited, but it just makes you, hey, you got to pay attention now. For a long time, you can go walk away during a Raw match or whatever because nothing's happening.
And that was something Vince Russo and company did really well during the Attitude Era, where there was like little things that would happen. You'd be like, oh, what's this?
Yeah.
Some of it never went anywhere, but it's
just leading you to the next show. Everybody was tuning in last night thinking something was going to happen because of the date 9/23, but that was never the point.
Nope. It was just to get you to the other code.
To the next show.
It's chasing the rabbit down the rabbit hole.
Right. It kind of reminds me when Jericho did a lot of when he first came back with those promos with the mystery code and all that stuff.
Yeah.
The code, which led to the cover. It just it's like right up Wyatt's alley. Like the stuff he would come up with.
And Triple H
together, and like that interview he did where he put him up, like what strongly like, oh, he's such a creative guy. Like it's. I think they don't care if you know that it's him coming back. It's fine. Because if we've seen, even with Punk's AEW debut, everybody knew he was coming, but yet some people were still shocked to see him.
Yep.
So, and it seems like they're coming up with something new for him. It may be a new character, and that's fine. That's good. He's always coming up with something new. He can always go back to all the stuff. But if you create another character, there's more merch to sell.
That's true.
So, and he'll get it over, and they'll figure out. And I don't think Hunter will book him like you said. The Fiend was booked into a corner because he was unstoppable, and you can't put the title on him then, or you can't put him in serious matches because it just doesn't work.
No.
But yeah, I mean, we'll see what's happen. Obviously, I don't know if we're going to just reveal this on a random show, or are we going to take this to Extreme Rules, or are we going to wait till
It
we'll
has
see.
to happen at a big event. So.
It's going to happen at Extreme Rules.
Probably, which makes me want to go even more.
I think,
but we'll see.
I would like to see a faction with whatever Wyatt character we get in Cross with Scarlett. I think that would just be, from a presentation value, I think that would be something worthwhile. It gives Cross another talker with him. Cross could talk, but they really don't lean into it. But I think with Wyatt and him, it would be, I think it would just work. Like the cryptic stuff, they would just mesh together, and they would just be like a really cool faction.
That's fair.
Sure. And there's plenty of people you can add to that. Obviously, Braun's back if you wanted to go back to him and pray they have the connection. There's a lot of stuff you can do with that. I'm sure whatever they got planned will be
I mean, Braun looks fantastic.
Yeah.
That dude's in some shape.
Yeah, and he actually had a nice match last night with Otis. Otis is another underrated guy.
Charlie.
Yo.
Who do you think the White Rabbit is?
Bray. It has to be.
And if not?
I'll be sad.
I think it would be the biggest letdown they ever do. It'd be one of top 5 biggest letdowns.
I don't think Hunter would do that.
Oh, what did this QR code lead to? Like the other one was
Raw.
Hangman. What did
it led to Raw?
It gave you coordinates to the city where this arena, basically where the arena is in Edmonton on Monday.
Yeah.
So okay.
They're leading you. I'm sure something on Monday will lead you to Friday versus leading.
Yeah.
Like you said, we're chasing him, the rabbit, down the hole. And it'll get a huge pop whenever it is revealed. I can't imagine it being anything else. But if
Wasn't
it is
the sketch of the new Wyatt character that they were playing similar to the rabbit?
Yeah, the leak, like that leaked mask design.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Could you bring it up? I haven't seen it.
Let's see.
It was like the guy that designed like the Fiend mask and other stuff for him designed this, apparently.
Oh, okay.
Allegedly. That he showed it off or something. Like I said, I think they're trying to lead us into they want us to know who it is, but at the same time, they're going to have fun with it. And while you're looking for that, obviously we talked about War Games. He's also bringing back Fight Pit with Riddle and Rollins, which should be fun. He's gonna take the NXT greatest hits and just kind of repurpose them.
Fight Pit's what Thatcher and Riddle had, right?
Yeah, Thatcher and Riddle had one. Then Thatcher and Ciampa had one as well. But Thatcher has actually won both of those. I wouldn't be surprised if he comes back in some kind of capacity.
Let's see. Thatcher would probably be a coach.
Yeah, I could see him. He was doing that anyway, so I can see him coming back as a coach. I know he brought back Sapolsky apparently too.
Oh shit!
Yeah. Oh, there we go.
Kyle Scarborough.
It's the guy that designed the Fiend mask apparently, or some of his stuff.
Okay.
And then this is the whole Karrion Kross thing where they also think he's the White Rabbit because that was his character in Lucha.
I just don't understand it. He's already here and he's already debuted. He's already got a feud going. I can't see why that. I can see him being involved with him, like you said, but I can't see it just being him.
Yeah. It would just be a great faction. Maybe even they can throw us off and like Cross is actually more of the leader than Bray. We're like Scarlet, kind of like Judgment Day, but on SmackDown.
Okay.
That'd be cool.
Sure.
Honestly, Judgment Day has been saved with Ripley
taking over essentially. As
taking
the leader.
over as the lead. I really like that group now.
And she doesn't even have to wrestle. I don't know. And it's weird. She hasn't wrestled. I don't know if she's still not fully cleared or whatever, but she's working.
Is she going to have a match against Rey Mysterio? Do you think that's going to happen?
I don't see
match against Rey? I'd like to see that, but obviously we're going to obviously have to have Rey and Dom have a match. I don't know if they're putting it all for a possible Mania match or what.
We'll we want to talk about the. All right, Charlie. We haven't had.
Yeah, we got to talk about Dom.
Yeah, Charlie. We've been talking about this.
He's been predicting it for a minute.
It was too late for me to care. The turn was too late for me to care, and it was too late for it to be effective.
I like that he's a simp for Ripley, because I would totally be. I'd be like, what do you want me to do? Okay, yep. Mm-hmm.
I think it works for him because he's awkwardness works kind of in this role.
Yeah.
It makes it more fun. Like those weird vignettes backstage, and she's telling him what to do. Yeah, it makes total sense. So, yeah, I know Charlie said it's too late. I think I'm going to give it a chance. I think it's working to a degree here.
No, like you guys said, I think Rhea's doing a great job in revitalizing.
She's really taking over this. It failed with Edge, but she's taking this. This is like the biggest thing she's done on the main roster. So,
as far as the Dominic turn goes, in general, I just think it's too late. But
as far as because
when would you have done it?
Thoughts, publicly,
I would have. To answer Frank, I would have done it at the Rey Appreciation Night.
That would have.
We talked about that. Yeah, I know. Okay.
As far as we spoke on last week, me and Frank spoke about our highest viewed episode of all time, the Logan Paul Roman Reigns scenario for Crown Jewel. What do you think, Charlie? What do you think about it? The
match in general?
Yeah.
I think it's a great way to showcase Logan Paul.
Yep. What we got so many views. We got a few dislikes from we got some dislikes.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Because we're pro Logan Paul. Apparently.
I even got a comment on. Well, I tweeted out the link, and a friend of mine retweeted it. Friend of mine, Blasco, who does some of the AEW music. Actually, he does Kingston's song. He just did the Firm's new song. He tweeted out. He retweeted my link, which was cool of him to do because he has a lot of followers. And I got a random comment like, "Well, it's too bad that Paul's getting a shot when other people are more deserving." I'm like, "You mark."
Yeah.
More deserving.
Like, have they watched this dude perform in the ring? 2 matches already.
It's not like we're talking about David Arquette here.
He can go.
It's not just that this whole thing is a deserving shot. It's not real, guys. I hate to break it.
And have you seen how tall and big Logan Paul is? Like he doesn't look like a little guy compared to Roman Reigns.
Yeah, I mean, we can argue that he's miscast in a babyface role, but that press conference was a lot of fun. We recorded right before that conference came out, and
gotcha.
It was a lot of fun. It's going to be a fun match. People are interested. They can say, like I said, you don't want to watch it, don't watch it. But literally, I bet you more people are going to watch it than not because of it.
The best way that match can go is Logan makes a rookie mistake, goes to like spear Roman. He gets caught in the chokehold. He doesn't tap. He just passes out.
Yeah,
that's it. And then you have Logan go away for a bit and rebuild himself. Probably comes back at the Rumble. Oh, could you imagine? Could you imagine? I'm going to put this. I'm going to float this out.
Oh boy!
Logan Paul wins the Rumble.
You don't even have to like give him the title shot at Mania. Just can you imagine? There would be probably the people would be going nuts, maybe more so than they did when Batista won that.
If you ever wanted him to get over as a heel, have Logan Paul and Cody the last two in the Rumble, and he throws out Cody.
Oh my God!
After like some interference or something, Cody. Right?
I would say I love Cody and I want him to run the Rumble, but I would just dig it from a booking perspective. Mm-hmm. It would just rule.
You'd have him the heel for the next century made it in a night.
You can have him and Cody have him. Oh, this is
him and Cody in a match. Yeah, that would be something.
This would be dream booking. Listen to this. Then Logan somehow is dumb because he's a rookie, puts the title match on the line against
Right.
Cody. Cody wins.
Right.
Cody wins.
Sure.
WrestleMania, we have Roman versus Cody. Cody wins. Austin Theory cashed in, screws over Cody again. This would just be the ultimate booking. And then you get 2 heels in the span of 4 months with your everyone's beloved baby face.
You know
this
what?
Would be the best thing they ever did.
I just thought as when you said that, how about even to take it further when the Theory cash-in happens because Logan Paul attacks Cody after he wins the title, and you have Theory and Logan together as a group.
Oh, Charlie, you know that would be good.
Fantastic.
You know that would be good.
It makes too much sense. So
it makes too much sense, right?
But Triple H has been making a lot of smart choices.
True.
And you know Triple H loves, he knows, right? He knows that the money's in the chase, and he loves to book a strong heel. If you can book that to SummerSlam and make SummerSlam next year like the biggest SummerSlam ever, that Cody finally gets his hands on them.
And then Roman doesn't have to be the flag bearer. You have Cody chasing Theory.
Sure.
With Logan Paul, you would have 2 heels now that are legit heels. You have Cody. You probably at this point have a babyface Rollins again, who doesn't have to change anything, just who he wrestles. Can you imagine Logan Paul, Seth Rollins? Like, we have a lot of matchups by just switching a couple people.
Yeah.
Oh man, that was.
And you know what? What's getting me here is
on the spot booking.
Right, this just came to me. But you know what's great is that it's not so far out of the realm of possibility they would try something like that with Hunter and
honestly, Logan. I'll put it right here. Logan Paul's in the Rumble. He's winning the Rumble. He's winning the Rumble.
Wow.
Yes, he's going to throw out Bad Bunny, and he's going to throw out.
If he throws out Cody, that would. How many clicks on the internet would you get? It's not about a positive or a negative. It's about both reactions. The coverage would just be, you book it as like, oh, this guy's going to WrestleMania. And he ends up going to WrestleMania probably in another way, but you have Cody take that match away from him. I like what Frank said. He gets attacked after the match, Cody, after he wins the title from Roman. Theory cashes in. Then you have 2 heels. Like 2 made heels.
Nuclear
and that's what they're lacking. They're lacking because people want to cheer Roman. They really want to.
And people want to cheer Rollins.
And they want to cheer Rollins. Give the people what they want.
Sure.
You just have to build the right guys to take those places.
I mean, look at that. You got Roman and Rollins and Cody in a trios match against Paul, Theory, and somebody else.
Yeah. I mean, AJ Styles could always flip, and AJ Styles, I think, at this point would be a better heel than a face.
True. Yeah. There's a lot of stuff you can do here, and it's nice that we can actually dream because some of this stuff might actually happen.
Comments down below. I know, again, you're probably going to get 83 dislikes because of what I just said.
Too prolonged.
But you have to think of the big picture. Like,
you got to build him. I think Hunter knows he should be a heel. It was a Vince thing. Oh, people should like him because he's popular.
I guess the Miz, Logan Paul, and Theory, wouldn't that just be like the most annoying trio we'd ever have?
Yeah.
That would be, oh my God. It's
fantastic.
And that's how you can kind of break up him and Ciampa, like, and can break it from that.
Oh, man. We just have it. We have it.
So much stuff you can do.
Oh,
there's so much stuff you can do with this. And him being at odds with Roman obviously sets it up perfectly for when he turned. Yeah, it's all great. It's all right there, guys. All right in front of us.
Read the tea leaves, people.
Please, if you want to quote us in a report, a rumored this plan for WrestleMania, go ahead. They're going to credit our show.
You see, we make fun of Tony Khan for fantasy booking, but this fantasy booking would make a lot of money for the company. It would turn a lot of eyeballs in the casual fan.
People
to
be
the
so
product.
mad. They're saying, "Oh, we're not going to watch now." I said, "Yeah, bogus. You will. You'll get so behind Cody to win the title more so than he would be even now."
Dude, why do you think Daniel Bryan got super over? It was because they kept teasing it, and
Taking
then
it
when
from
he
him,
finally won, boom, cash in happened. You're basically doing it with Cody.
Mm-hmm. And it's okay to do it for his first title because they did, like I said, David Bryan, his first. Well, it wasn't his first title, but his first WWE title, we'll say.
And it makes sense for Theory to do it. Why? Because Theory was handpicked by Vince. You have that happen at WrestleMania. The rumor and innuendo suggests that Vince is going into the Hall of Fame and he will be at WrestleMania. His golden boy leaves WrestleMania as the champion.
Right.
His golden boy, not Cody. Because it was always we're going to hold back the Rhodes family.
Right. The feud with, exactly. It writes itself.
It's freaking perfect. You don't think Triple H is a smart guy? You don't think this is in his head as a possibility?
It's there.
Oh, sure. And you could say Vince in theory, but Triple H is the one that signed him. He knew.
Yeah.
And he knew why he'd signed him because that's a guy that Vince would like. But
Triple H likes Logan Paul a lot because he went on his podcast right away.
Yeah.
How many podcasts does Triple H do?
None.
A lot. Only people he likes. So
it's a long episode. We appreciate everyone for tuning in. It's been a lot of fun. I love having us three together. It's great. Let's see what happens. Let's see how these stories evolve. I'd love to see Bray back. Love to see Logan Paul win the Royal Rumble. I'm just playing it in my head that it's going to happen.
So, guys, when that happens, remember we heard it first, and take it seriously. He's predicted quite a few things.
Oh man,
in multiple endeavors too, not just in wrestling.
Have you ever felt like the premonition? You're getting goosebumps about it.
I can't wait for this now.
We need to clip this. This is just too good.
I will mark it out so hard if this happens. Exactly.
Remember.
It'll be right up there with MJF winning the title at
Full Gear.
Full Gear, yeah.
Remember when Charlie and I did the show about Logan Paul signing, my quote was the second biggest superstar name value wise in WWE is Logan Paul, right up there with Roman Reigns.
Yep.
And people were like, "Oh, you're a fool." I'm a fool. I'm a fool. You know what? I'm gonna flip you the bird.
I haven't checked that episode. How many thumbs down did you guys get?
You can't see them. I could see them through the analytics. We got a few.
Geez.
But you know what? A lot of people watched. That's the proof is in the pudding. You guys proved my point.
Yes.
I specifically picked that thumbnail of Logan Paul Roman. We talked about several other things on the show.
Yeah.
But the one that just drew the most reaction, Roman Reigns and Logan Paul.
Here we are.
My God. Thank you, everyone, for
tuning in. Guys.
JML.
Like, comment, share, subscribe.
Please flame us. We don't care. Give us the thumbs up, thumbs down.
Thumbs up, thumbs down.
Complaints,
we don't care means you want.
Compliments. It's an exciting time.
One of our avid followers, Russell Rice, he's gonna light us up in the comments, but that's fine. He doesn't want Logan Paul anywhere near the title. I get it as a purist, but it just has to be done. It's not like
he's not winning the title.
As much as Bad Bunny was great, I wouldn't want to see Bad Bunny versus Roman Reigns because look at the size disparity between the two.
Yeah,
it just wouldn't look right.
This guy looks like he belongs in the ring.
Yeah,
and he can back it up. It looks like too. So
this isn't Logan Paul from 6 or 7 years ago where he looked like a little kid. The dude's a grown ass man. So,
Yeah.
all right. It's been fun. Weekly verdict.
Times.
Case is adjourned. Thumbs up. Great week of wrestling. It's been a great couple months of wrestling.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, it's exciting time to be a fan this year. What a year it's been, and we only got up to go from here, right? So,
Yep. Good night and good luck.
Thanks,
We'll
guys.
see you ringside.
These are me.
Peace.